Hello and welcome to more shipbuilding. Today, really? I'm getting attacked just as I start this video? Well, where are they? Where are they? Let's get out of this view mode. They're up there? These guys are here to give me a hard time. Let me fire up my lasers. Well, you're getting to see some action. Send it. Come on now. Who else wants to find out? Send it. Send it. Who else? You? You? Send it. Yes. This is the Deleter 3. What a great and convenient introduction to my New Game Plus playthrough ship. I didn't do a lot of shipbuilding in New Game Plus. New Game Plus, I did an expedited playthrough. New Game Plus, I slowed down a bit. I had a little bit of fun. And this is the ship that I came up with. Well, I didn't come up with it. It's a Varun Prophecy 3, aka a Stroud-Eklund Vanquisher. And I outfitted it to suit my needs because I was basically the lone adventurer. I didn't really keep a crew for this time around. I went with the safety orange because I did some outposting and it's like, okay, this is going to be my cargo ship. And I think I had another smaller ship that was going to be my fighter ship. But then I just turned this into the one ship that did everything. So I should probably give you a little bit of a tour of it. Now, the Vanquisher, aka Prophecy, has traditionally a side lander, but as you can see here, we have a front lander. But we kept kind of like an offset aesthetic, and I found that the Deimos lander actually melds in well with these Stroud pieces here. You know, it doesn't stick out. The door closes. It keeps the same as external aesthetic. So we winter in the lander, we load into the ship. Now, one reason why I use this lander is because it loads onto the second level instead of loading onto the bottom level, and in order to get to the cockpit or any place in the ship we have to care about, we have to travel up 2 sets of ladders. Here, we've eliminated some of that. So right into the lander, into a companionway or a, I don't remember, it could be the storeroom. We needed one of these Hope Tech stretcher bits here just to get things to line up the way we wanted to. I played with the layout on this thing quite a bit before I got it to where I wanted it to. And it's funny because the Vanquisher whatever had a bottom docker, and here we replaced it with a side docker. So that's where that is. And yes, it keeps with some of my design philosophies where I like to merge the entry points together to one common entry point. Now we do have the stretch here, but it's fine. It comes right into this main atrium area. Now when I'm doing outposting, I like to have a workshop on my ship to go quickly bust out some, adaptive frames or whatnot. You're always running out of adaptive frames, and for that reason, I like to put the workshop right by the landing bay so that you can come in and boom. Now, we could have made the workshop here. This is a 2-hab stretch right here. It probably would have worked perfectly and hopefully didn't put a inconvenient ladder. But, I ended up putting it here, just down the hall, so it's not too far of a stretch. And then boom, there we go. There's our workshop. And then if we turn left here, we go into a general distribution area. You're gonna notice I glitched a window into there, and I do that sometimes when I have a ladder that stretches multiple levels so that I can walk in this area without falling through the floor. Now the funny thing about glitching a ladder is if we go activate and we go down, you're gonna see that we can pretty much still travel through that window. So it gives us a place to stand where we don't have to worry about falling through the floor. Makes it easier to go up, but oh yeah, that's what it looks like down here. But we can also, if we really want to go down here, we can do that. Now, this ship came with a 2x3 cargo bay, which I've kept for kind of, I guess, just lore, this ship has like 4,000 to 6,000 cargo depending on your buffs, so I kept a cargo bay for lore, even though usually when I'm doing ship design for RP aesthetic ergonomics, I will put the cargo bay very close to the lander and very close to the workshop sometimes, but I didn't do that here. I kept it just for the sake of keeping it, but I made it downstairs. And then if we go through here, here's our engineering bay. On all my larger ships, I like to have an engineering bay. I feel like you need a place for that thing and that thing and that thing, you know, all your life support and whatnot. We have a rear inspection window so anyone working in engineering can see if the engines are on fire, though I don't have a crew. But this general area, I as the player never have to come down here. I literally never come down here, so I didn't really care about having random access to it, which is why I put that window there. We can pretty much just pretend this whole area doesn't exist. So back upstairs, we're coming for where we come in from the ship, and then we have a little bonus area here. Now the ship had storerooms on each edge to give like side windows. Obviously one of them got removed in favor of the docker. But in this particular variation, and I tried a couple different variation here, this is where the guest and the companion quarters is. So initially I didn't have an all-in-one hab on this ship at all because it was a one-person ship. It was I wasn't carrying a crew. But then I realized that nerfed my passenger capacity, and I like taking on the cargo missions and the passenger delivery missions just for cheap, quick money and XP. They're easy missions. You literally just fast travel. You take it from the mission board, you click fast travel, you're there, you get money and XP. So in doing this, I got that back, so if I have some passengers, boom, here they can hang out, they have a washroom, they got beds, they can maybe play a little bit of darts. They can rip some darts. And then I decided in the front of it to put another captain's quarters, and this actually serves two functions. It gives me a place where I can go and quickly rip a nap if I'm in this area of the ship and it's more convenient to do so on my way out or whatever. But also the lore is that this is basically my companion's room, which, as you can see, I have Andrea with me. Andrea, whatever you want to call her. Some people call her Patty. No, I don't think anyone calls her Patty. But this is her room. This is essentially Andrea's room. She has to go through this berth to get there, but I don't know. She can rip herself a snack right there. In ways, this is kind of lame. At one point, this was just a, this went into, I had an infirmary here. This ship comes stocked with an infirmary. I kept it on the odd chance that, well, for lore reasons, someone got hurt, or, well, it had the little station to make chems and stuff, but I didn't find I was using it often enough, but I needed passenger space. Alternately, I made this little section of storeroom, and I had a 2x1 hab here, a 2x1 berth, so that's a thing you could consider. I decided to go for the 3x1 for kind of the bling factor, I guess, but then maybe it would be nice to compartmentalize that. It all depends on how you feel about your companion and what kind of privacy you want them to have, I guess. We go up a level. So this being a one-person ship and being a posh one-person ship, I wanted it to be a nice place to live. So I put the Stroud living area in here. The nice Stroud 2x2 living area. Originally, it had a 2x3, what was it again? A mess hall. But that didn't seem practical for a one-person ship. But now we have a nice living room. Now, this ship had random storerooms around. I kept one so that we could have like a rear viewing area if you wanted to. Ignore that glitch. You'll see what that is later. And you know, one good thing about the living area is it has these two kind of little separated areas here, which it will default doors. If you're designing your ship, if you take this into the consideration when you're trying to figure out your layout, the ship will default to putting doors in these little areas, so you can kind of work that to your favor. If we go this way, you're going to see that I have another Stroud living area. And the reason why I have this here is because this Stroud living area doesn't have any form of kitchen. So this is essentially the galley. You have your freaking little dining room table. You have freaking this thing, your kitchen. It's the galley. So you have a living area, a galley, or a nice kitchen, whatever you want to call it. And this is where you live. And then, of course, right off the living area, here's the main captain's quarters. I don't like the Stroud captain's quarters because it has a really small, crappy bed. Sometimes I prefer... I had the Teo captain's quarters in here for a little while. It doesn't fit with the Stroud aesthetic, so I ended up just putting it back. Not like it matters. In this game, a bed's a bed, so... This ship has had different variations. Now, out the front, we have this storeroom going up, and that basically brings us to the bridge. Originally, this was the way to get upstairs, and the bridge was... I moved it back one, but it didn't make a lot of sense. The bridge didn't seem good put too far back. Do I have the armadillo? Yeah, I have the armadillo going. This is near the end of that playthrough, so the armadillo's active. And that's basically it. What was initially a one-person ship had a little passenger space, but you're gonna find that this layout makes way more sense for a player. If you get a prophecy, which they seem to be common later in game. I'm at like a level 111 here. I'm at a level 115 now actually playing the game. They seem to be common enough you can score one. And it is a good ship. It doesn't need a lot of tweaking to make it like an absolute, as I've exampled here, a deleter. It's just the layout doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. You have to go up through the hab and through the engineering bay to get to the mess hall to get to the bridge. It's like, okay, bud. Here we've created like actual flow points. Jump down one, boom, there's the exit, and then we exit directly down. So let's take a look at the externals.
Must be very difficult for Aquila.
Yes, Andrea. There it is, once again, in glorious safety orange, safety yellow, which I like to put on my cargo ships sometimes, and it just ended up kind of sticking. As you can see here, we put black out in front. And you might notice that on some of my ship designs. Wherever the cockpit or the bridge is, I will make sure that the stuff directly in front is kind of blacked out, because that's glare. You know, you're in a firefight, the last thing you want is a bright hood in front of you to glare against and, like, you know, ruin your vision. Now, there's not much to say. We already know what the top level looks like. We have a mid-bracer there and a mid-bracer there, which allows us to fill in those spaces. We could have more hab space. I did a variation where I moved this hab forward, and it worked actually pretty well if you like to swing that way right there. And then you would come up in here and you'd have to go around to get to the bridge. But it still worked well. And then that would also link directly to your captain's quarters. Or no, maybe it went here. I don't remember, but either way, you could stick more 2x1 habs there if you wanted to. Let me just peel back this first level to show you. Alright, now that that's done, if we just click dish, we can pull all that out of the way, except for the frickin' cannons. They seem to have stayed behind. Let's just go pop those guys where they belong, bud. Stop being a nuisance. The second level. As you can see, we have this storeroom right here, and that is what the landing bay is going into. And then there's our little Hope Tech store stretch piece going to another storeroom. If you use a storeroom, you have a chance to avoid ladders, right? Companionways seem to prefer ladders. You can use them to force a ladder. Storerooms can sometimes avoid ladders. And yeah, at one point I had just space fillers, and I had this like that, or no, right there. So that's a different variation you can do. But what we have here: stretch, storeroom, docker, workshop, companionway, because that's where we go up and down, 3x1 berth, that's a companionway. See, here it doesn't matter. It can be aesthetic. They have different internals a little bit. there's nothing above or below this you can travel to. So, and then of course the captain's quarters front. Oh, here is where our little frickin' dog star was hanging out. I gave it the best shield generator. The best shield generator, right? Now let's just peel back a little bit more here. Select, no, select. We'll get these, I have some of these, oh, what do you call them? These Nova Galactic bracers, because they're a little bit lighter. And then there's the first level. So we have our whatchamacallit, our lander that goes up, and then just that and that. So it's the first level's kind of very boring. Now we move these. It came stock with these two cargo holds. I'm using all the stock cargo, and you can see the numbers there. 4120 vanilla, 6,000 after my buffs. Probably even more if you have Sam Co. It also came with like 4 of these Pro Point Accu-landing gears. Left those for the most part where they go. I think I might have moved these central ones a bit. These things were splayed out before. Now, one interesting thing is, where's the weapons? It's a deleter, right? You saw me 2 laser turrets. Reza 3000 PHSX pulse lasers turrets. 14 hull, 49 shield, 2 of them. I like my laser turrets to soften shields. Alternately, I like also particle turrets. Whatever floats your boat, as long as you have turrets. I like to have turrets on any good deleter ship because it helps take the edge off when ships are buzzing around and you can't quite get that lock. This nose cap, nothing to it. But what's underneath this braking engine? Oh. Now the ship comes stock with one of these missile launchers. They bat 208. We have 417 missiles on here. And you can see I have those mounted on some Teo equipment plates. Here and here. Conveniently, there are latch points, both there and there. So these reverse engines kind of, well, I kind of made them the missile launchers. So we can put these here and just like pretend that missiles are shooting out of these holes or something. You know what I mean? I've gotten into like trying to hide my weapons in certain ways. Because like, look at that thing. It's an absolute unit, but it sticks out like a sore thumb. And the game doesn't let you color it. That kind of sucks. Meanwhile, I have a pair of particle turrets. You're going to see my particle level is 75. Those are hiding under here. And I really like to do that with these kind of pieces because they have this big chunky emitter looking dealer there that kind of looks like it's a weapon emitter. Like if you look at the front of a lot of particle cannons, they kind of have similar patterns maybe. So that thing sits down here. That is a 37 by 4 firing rate Class C. Maybe not the strongest particle weapon in the game, but it's certainly holding its own. And those tuck into here. If we go more near the back, I kept the engines that this thing came with because these are pretty good engines. They're a little bit limiting. You can see my mobility is only 60. I didn't try to max this ship out and go 100 mobility. I kind of stuck with the limited mobility and I played around with the configuration to keep the weight 60 or better. And I managed to hit that target. So we just generally have all these little stroudy pieces here, plus a Teo spine B supporting these in particular engines into place. And then of course you got the duplicate that on this side. Let's just pull these out of the way. The ship also came stock with these massive 550 HE3 tanks. This ship could pretty much jump wherever the frig you wanted. It also came stock with a rather large grav drive, like a big chunky Class C double deck grav drive, which I didn't like because the ship isn't heavy enough to need a grav drive that was like, oh, it was something stupid like 45 or 50. Like it was out there. The ship wasn't heavy enough to need that much grav drive. I never put more grav drive than I need on here. So what did I do? I put on the good old-fashioned, the most common used grav drive, this Relodyne, the 36, the RD3000 beta grav drive that has 36 grav jump, which is enough for most ships, and it pretty much is what I needed to get 30 jump range on this ship. So between 30 jump range and what's going to work out to 1100 fuel, this ship can go anywhere. And of course, one hack that I like to use to hide it is it fits well into a general Hope Tech hab. Of course, it doesn't fit the aesthetic, but it's the only thing that this grav drive fits really well into, because of the way this little round bit sticks out, it will stick out of here and meld pretty well. Anything else, like I guess we could try, for example, just really quickly grab one of these things here, which we have to do this the other way around. Well, we have to find a place to stick it here, but this thing doesn't have a bottom connection, which makes it handy for some stuff, but not for other stuff. So if we put... Come on now! Why would you red out there? I don't... Why is it... There's no reason for that to red out there. Oh. Oh. That's not, It's because it's a lander. Ha! Okay. Get that thing. Put it there. Dupe it up. Dupe it down. So, like, you could hide it in here, but as you can see, you have some top glitches, which can be hidden. You know what? There's not that much rear glitch. Assuming we have top and bottom pieces covering it, we could have put this there. Maybe if we go look real quick to see what it looks like. Dupe it down. That's going to be tricky to put back into place now with everything loose and all over the place. Huh. Okay, buds. We got to dupe glitch everything here. There. No. Like, yeah. Oh, no, we are getting glitch there. Okay. Never mind. But they're either way, as you can see, it's perpetuating my philosophy of glitch building where I hide certain core components. Which, you know, spoiler alert, you saw I was hiding a reactor. And that is your SF-40 sheared flow with 40. The best Class C reactor in the game. I guess I could have made this ship Class B with 39 and only use 1 point, but because I don't have crew buffs, I wanted to go all out. And it was already a Class C, and I like the Class C weapons, so I decided to stick with it. But the stock reactor wasn't quite good enough, so I put this in. And managed to hide it. Now, one of the biggest disappointments is Stroud doesn't have any belly pieces like freaking Demios has here. So it was hard to really finish off the ass end of this thing. I had different variations of it, but I ended up just kind of sticking a Deimos there because it was the closest thing. You can see that blinking. That blinking is that window. If we pull this out of the way. So we got this ship half apart now, and you've seen all the secrets thus far. So maybe we might as well just go and put it back together now, right? So things like glitching these in particular weapons into here is really freaking easy because they just snap there, flip, flip, cancel, boom, glitched. These things, I don't know what they intended them to be when they put that little cutesy graphic on the front of it, making it look like there's some sort of emitter. Maybe that's the sensor array, like the Teo sensor array. Maybe that's the Stroud sensor array, though I guess I kind of like to think of this as a sensor array. Maybe that's just a nose cap with some lights, right? Either way, for me, that's an emitter. A particle beam emitter. And now we're gonna put our frickin' our little weapons here back into place. Put our Teo equipment plates. And then we need to stack this up, right? So we need to find something to just randomly stick here where we could put one of these things and then we drop glitch them down, move them over to the other side, grab this up, drop glitch that down, and then we can kind of stick these back into place. Now we have that floating window, right? That floating window. So we'll start assembling our ship here. We got a little bracer. We got our storeroom to come off the landing bay. We got our little stretcher. Then we got another storeroom. And then we have our docking bay. And then we're gonna have our companionway. And then, well, I think you get the idea. Let's just go ahead and frickin' stick all this chunk back into place. All in one fell swoop. And now that that's into place, we can go on the bottom and we can take a window and put it where we want to block the ladder. Now, I have used this trick with some success to stop the game from putting a ladder in a certain place. It's a very low chance of success, though, of blocking the ladder altogether. However, in order to do that, you'd have to flip it around and put it at the top of the hab below instead of the bottom of the hab up top. As you can see, if you put it at the bottom of the top hab, the ladder still exists, just you have to glitch through to get to it. But now that that's there, you take your bottom hab in question, and this can obviously be tricky if you can't change the hab. Put it into place, press sideways, you know, glitch it into a cargo hull, and then boom. Now we're going to have a blocked ladder. We can go ahead and stick our nose piece back into place. We could go ahead and stick, I guess, pretty much all this back into place. There's nothing special in how this goes together. And then I guess we could stick pretty much all this back into place. Or no, because this frickin' thing's in the way. Where'd that thing go? Is that a leftover dupe? Oh, no, that gas tank's in the wrong spot, bud. Okay, we'll stick it there. Now we'll put that back into place. Same thing with this guy. We have to move this forward, apparently. Oh, no, this thing's in the way. There. Now to assemble the rest of this ass, which is tricky. So we just gotta grab something random to put over top of the reactor. Put that there. We can't dupe it down because it needs something to snap to on the side of the reactor, right? Which is funny because I don't know how I did that before. So let's just put something on the side here. And now we can dupe it. Oh no, it needs something to snap in the front. Okay. So we'll start with this thing then. Put that there. Oh, wait. This is really easy. That's the other thing with using a hab to do this. So this guy doesn't have front and rear snap points, which is also going to cause a problem. Pull the reactor out of the way, put something that has a front snap point, a front or rear snap points, and then this will snap into place, and then we simply press side, companionway, storeroom, press cancel, and then boom, there it is. Now, one controversy here is that is essentially an inaccessible hab. So if you had an accessible hab right in front of it, you would end up having a door to nowhere, or you would have a door that goes into the grav drive. You'd literally be able to walk into the grav drive, because the grav drive itself, when you're inside the ship, all the external components have no collision. So like you could put like a hab like literally inside this thing. Like if you grab, say, this hab, put it there, glitched it into place, like you could go inside this tank now and the tank would have no collision. It didn't go there, but whatever. It is a thing that can be done. So let's put the reactor into place. Let us put something in front of the reactor. Like we can just snap this guy there real quick. Grab one of these dealies. Dupe it down. Boom. Dupe that down again. Boom. Now the bottom of the reactor is sealed. Get one of these guys. Dupe it down. And boom. The top of the reactor is sealed. Let's just go put this guy back where it belongs. That pretty much looks the way it should be. Why do I have so many of these left and around now? Lefting around. They must be spare ones from my dupe glitches. So, oh yeah, it's charging me another 980. Get rid of those. And what's this stupid thing floating around out here? Oh, it's the shield generator, bud. It's the shield generator. Now this thing has the ability to glitch around. We can stick this pretty much anywhere. I stuck it there arbitrarily one day. You can sometimes stick them in these, well, geez. Well, no, we need that to mount the front nose cone. Or, actually, does that have up and down connection points? Can we literally just... No, yeah, it definitely needs connections in the back. So that's why I have that there. Now, fortunately, the dog star is small enough you don't see it. I always hide the shield generators now. They stick out like sore thumbs. There's other places we could put it. Like this is just a random cowling piece. You could put it there. I had some areas on the inside initially. Like right there. You literally don't need that in particular Nova Bracer. So you could, if you wanted to, just delete that. The game's not gonna care. And then, like, you don't even have to glitch it. Just sit it there. Sit it there. Sit it there. Boom. There you go. So, that's that. This is the Deleter 3. Based on the Shroud, Vanquisher. And that's one reason why I called it Deleter. I was kind of making fun of the Shroud name. Vanquisher. Well, this is going to be the Deleter. But it's built off of a Rune Prophecy, which is a common ship and a pretty good ship. Really. You don't need to spend much to upgrade it, even though I probably did. 1.3 mil in this game, eh? You get rich fast once you know how to play the game. And that's without a lot of exploits either. So, I hope you enjoyed this. You can like, you can subscribe, you can come back for more. And you can find me on Kick.